few months ago, I received an email from Martin Stimming asking me if I could review his instant mastering chain, and I basically said yes, because it looked really interesting, and it actually looked to me as, well, one of the smallest mastering chains in the world, if not the smallest mastering chain in the world. So today we're going to take a look at it, and well, let's get started. Alright, so I have the unit over here. It's not a plugin, it's a hardware unit, of course. And let's just take an overall look at the unit, starting with the back. So on the back of the unit, there's of course a power supply input and, well, actually very cool looking power switch. It has got its output and input on jack. And for this form factor, I don't think XLRs would actually fit. One thing to notice about these in and output jacks is that they are actually unbalanced. So that's something to keep in mind when connecting it. It also has a sidechain insert path, and it also has a mini jack headphone output or in-ear monitoring output, which can be very handy in some situations. So on the front, we of course have the control. So we've got bypass, we've got a separate bypass for the EQ, we've got feedback and feed forward setting, which is really interesting, and just to learn and play around with it's already really interesting. We've got the headphone control, of course, the volume for the headphones. We've got our input gain. We've got our compression section over here. So we've got threshold, ratio, attack and release. Attack, and release. We've got a low and a high frequency EQ. These are fixed band EQs. Again, there's no room for control on here. So this is what you get. We've got drive, which is really interesting. And we've got, of course, our output gain, which is, well, necessary for creating your gain staging, of course. And the order in which a chain works is that you first get your EQ, and then your compressor, and then the saturation. And I think what's best to do is just test it by running some audio through it. And of course, I'm using a track from a very cool artist called Darude. And the name of the track, I forgot the name of the track. Maybe somebody can mention it in the comments below. So let's take a look first at the feedback compression. Feedback compression is a more traditional way of compressing. Most vintage units are using it. So let's put our output gain here, input gain here. And the threshold works in such a way that this is the top threshold and this is the bottom threshold. So the more I move it to the right, the more we are compressing. Let's do a quick attack time, quick release, and a low ratio. Compress a bit. Oh, there it comes. That's a full compression. So of course I have to adjust the output gain on this. It's not like a plugin where you have automatic gaining. That's the cool thing about analog, like you have two hands, so that's why you're doing that. Give it a little bit more output gain. And let's do a little bit longer attack. The compression really has its own analog character, which is really cool. And this thing really is made to increase the loudness of something, and I want to talk about this a little bit more later. The energy and loudness is not only being increased by the compression itself, but also by the sound from the compression. And if we switch to feed forward, you would understand a little bit better what I mean, because when using it in feed forward, it's way more transparent. Let's listen to that as well. So for feed forward, we need a little bit lower input gain because of how it works. She recommended. Do quick attack, quick release again. That was until I found you. You became the middle way between getting no love and getting way. So now feed forward is way more functional compression, if you ask me. Kind of digital. Just like the sun, you showed me which way I should go. Yeah. Switching between feed forward and feedback is a little bit difficult because of the different gain staging you need to do. What's really cool about the feed forward is how you can keep some of the transient intact. Like you can almost, if you set it in the correct way, you can almost uncompress something by using the feed forward compression. But my favorite really is the feedback compression, just for the character it's adding. So let's also do 10:1 on a quick attack and release, just so you all know how the basically limiting works on this. They are describing it as 1:10, so now it's an expander or something, I don't know. I think it should be 10:1, but maybe not. Used to never do what's best for me. I was such a hopeless fool. I just kept making the same mistakes, yeah. That was until I found you. You became the middle way between getting no love and getting way too much. I pray that you're the one who cares for me, cares enough to keep. Like if you want to completely slam it, it's possible. Now I'm gaining a little bit too high, which also brings me into a little bit of the, well, not really a flaw, but something to be aware of. What you can hear now is that it's, even when trying to gain match, It really has a little bit of, well, I wouldn't say problems, but it's a kind of a difficult beast to tame when it comes to gaining. And this is really something you have to learn a little bit. You have to really learn to use the unit a little bit, which is kind of like if something is called instant, you can be easily confused by like saying like, okay, it's instant, so let's turn it on and it should, well, kind of instantly work. It's easy to confuse this with instant mastering services or something. It's a little bit inconvenient to call it instant, or maybe a little bit confusing or something. Now let's also take a quick listen to the EQ in here. I really think that the frequencies they picked, I don't know what the frequencies are. If I know it, I will put it in the edit somewhere. I think they are really usable frequencies, most of all when we're talking about mastering. So it really has that sub-low, which is one of the first things I would grab to normally when mastering. And it has that the top and high, the air, which is pretty heavy actually. And that's basically it for the EQ. Like, there's not a lot to talk about. The last thing on here to listen to is the drive. So let's do that as well. The drive is basically they're driving the output transformer, which is a Lundahl transformer. It can go soft, medium, max, and nuts. So let's just take a listen to it.
This time my hopes are up, 'cause you got my heart in your hand. And do what you want with it, but don't give it back. You stole my heart from me, but it don't mean that you're a thief. You say
This is really transformer distortion, this.
to give it out for free.
Magnetic distortion.
You can keep it safe, keep it locked till we throw it a key. You stole my heart from me.
But it's really cool that it can go from subtle to like
Can't be trusted.
almost unrecognizable. This really is very handy to warm up your tracks or how you want to call it, or in a more creative way to also use creatively. And that's also something with this unit, like there you have the compression and the drive, which both work on a master bus, but could also work on individual instruments. So that's really cool about this unit. Now, quite honestly, when I tested this unit, I emailed to Martin like, hey, I think it's a cool unit, but I don't really understand it. First of all, I had a lot of gaining problems, and that partly has to do with the fact that it's an unbalanced unit, and my whole studio and workflow is balanced. But I couldn't really get it, because how I would see the use case of such a unit is basically a portable analog mastering chain. Mainly that idea came to me because of how the compression sounds, like it's a real analog compressor. It could be really cool, like if you're a traveling producer and just want to have that little bit of extra analog vibe with you, you can just, use it in combination with a standard 2-channel input-output converter and just put it in there because it has the headphone output. So that's really cool. But I was just a little bit confused, like, okay, but what is now really the use case for this? And when I discovered the use case and when I emailed a little bit with Martin about his vision behind this product, I actually was a bit surprised, but also completely understood it. And this thing is designed for producers that perform live. So this would most of all be digital producers that use synthesizers or drum computers or loops or whatever, but have their equipment with them and perform live in combination with a DJ or in a DJ set, so DJ playing before, DJ playing after. And one of the problems that they usually have, which is something I've actually experienced when doing live sound engineering, is the loudness. So a DJ set usually has a very high loudness number. It's very high in LUFS, and dance tracks are, high loudness. And if you have to live perform either with that music or in between that music, you have to compete with that high loudness level, and you have to do something on your master bus or whatever to keep up with it. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to push your audio through the music, or when you're playing, it's just a way lower level, and it's not always possible to just turn up the volume because PA systems do not always have enough power because they are tuned to that high loudness music. And you can of course do that with plugins, but plugins they gave two issues, I think. One of them is, of course, it's resource intensive because you need to run it on your laptop or whatever, and some producers actually don't even have a laptop but have like more analog setup. And the second thing is that a full-on mastering chain will most certainly create latency. And that's something you don't want to have when performing live. So that is the real use case for this. That's also the reason why it's unbalanced and why it works the way it works. And it's of course a little bit weird that we need such a product, because I would actually love to see it the opposite way, where music is more dynamic. But unfortunately, that ship has sailed since the 90s. And of course, if you want to perform live and if you actually want to be heard, because that's what it's about, you would need such such a thing. And this is, just me, a very luxurious solution, of course, doing it fully analog with a very well-designed and engineered unit. That's, of course, a little bit of a luxury. What I would love this product to become or to be more is really a portable mastering chain, as I was just describing. And that it is possible to use it like that. If it would have balanced in and outputs and maybe like monitoring outputs, speaker outputs also balanced, it should be like the perfect travel, take with you analog mastering chain. So this thing costs around 2,350 euros excluding taxes, which is, it's a lot of money. It also packs a lot of power. So it's really up to you if you need it and if you want to purchase it. I think such a price point is very steep, of course. But on the other hand, like I've just demoed it, you're getting something in return as well for that price. So that's really cool. So that's all that I have to say about the instant mastering chain from Martin Stimming. As a disclosure, I am in contact with Martin Stimming. He asked me if I would like to review his unit. He did send it to me and I'm going to send it back to him again. I'm not keeping it. I'm not planning on purchasing it because there's not really a use case for me in my studio. I asked a few questions and gave a few comments, most of all about the whole balanced thing and gain staging it and getting it to work over here. But Martin didn't ask me to say certain things or not say certain things in this video, and everything that I'm saying is my complete independent opinion, independent story, however you want to say it. It's all me. Also, Martin is not paying me. He actually asked if he could pay for a review and I said, no, I'm either doing a review because I like to do it or I don't do it. So if you appreciate that independence, make sure to support me, and you can support me in multiple ways. And the coolest way, of course, using my affiliate link. So I'll link Thomann over here and Sweetwater over here. The links are also in the description down below. And when you purchase something using my link or my QR codes, a little bit of your purchase gets kicked directly to YT Studio, which, well, it actually really helps. Another way to support me is by joining the fan club on Patreon.com. On Patreon, you get early access to videos, answers to your questions, and some other stuff. So check it out. It's all on Patreon over here. The last way to support me and the whole YouTube platform is by watching more videos, staying on the platform. So I'll link one of my videos over here, but you can also watch other creators, of course. There are more videos on YouTube than we have time to watch, I think. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Keep pushing, and bye-bye.